We are in the business of putting ourselves out of business.
So we just need your time. We'll train you. We'll give you everything you need to be a volunteer firefighter.
Become a fireman, it's in your blood.
Let's down 3G now to what?
621,
Hello and welcome to In the Line of Fire. I'm Reed Yaden. We're at the far western end of Louisville for this program. We're at 34th and River Park. Now this is home for Engine 22 and Truck 4. This is one of the many firehouses for the Louisville Division of Fire. It's also home to the Louisville Fire Department Learning Center. It's a historical and very unique museum that we'll be showing you later. Plus, celebrating 150 years in Louisville. The city's fire department is one of the oldest in the nation. And this man helps operate the family business and the St Matthews Fire Department. Meet this volunteer later in the show. But first, meeting the demands of a growing community. It's no surprise that much of the growth in Louisville has happened in the eastern part of Jefferson County. Worthington Fire District is trying to keep up with the growth by constructing a new station.
1, 2, 3.
5 years of planning pay off with a scoop of dirt. Firefighters and their families watch as Worthington breaks ground for its third station. The district is in the northeastern corner of Jefferson County and includes residential homes, businesses, and interstates. But it's the increase in the residential sector that really made this station necessary.
The rapid growing area of our district, we decided that a third station was necessary. So we've been working for about 4.5, 5 years with Norton Commons to add a third station. The station size is approximately 22,500 square feet with the full basement, with administrative offices and a large training facility. So it really will serve the future needs of the organization and really provide the latest technology necessary to run a fire department.
In addition to the space, the station also allows for a quick response time.
This station is centrally located in our district, but also where most of the development is occurring at, which also provides service to the Oldham County section that we cover down Sleepy Hollow Road. So this will really help with all aspects of our district, also giving us a little bit quicker access onto the interstate systems.
The location for the new station is in Norton Commons, a unique development reminiscent of the Victorian, colorful homes in Old Louisville. Fire station will have that look too.
The design of the station will really be very similar to what architectural values you see here in this development. So we're going to have a lot of aesthetic things that value the same design elements as you see in the whole development.
Chief Yurt is hoping the new station will be completed by the end of this year. Now from a new station to a new service. Firefighters are first responders. They often arrive at an accident or medical scene before an ambulance. But most departments are limited to the type of medical care they can provide. The Harrods Creek Fire District has a new program that not only includes first responders, but advanced life support. The Harrods Creek Fire District is tucked away in the northern end of Jefferson County. When a traffic accident happens along Highway 42 in Prospect, or when there's a medical emergency inside a home, it can sometimes take up to 20 minutes for an ambulance to arrive.
We're in an area that's very difficult for Louisville EMS to justify having an ambulance out here. We have about 800 runs a year total, and so there's a lot more usage of EMS in other areas, so you really can't statistically justify having an ambulance out here, and yet we're tough to get to geographically.
That concerned Chief Aponte and sparked an interest in working with Metro EMS to develop an advanced life support program. Many firefighters are EMTs, but few are paramedics.
An EMT is about 130 odd hours of training now, and a paramedic is typically a 2-year program.
As first responders, a paramedic aboard a fire engine can offer more critical life services. Firefighter Keith Blair is also a paramedic who is part of Harrods Creek's new Advanced Life Support Service.
Generally, our call volume is pretty much half fire runs and half EMS runs. Some days we make all EMS runs and some days we make all fire runs. Typically, we see a lot of medical patients, a lot of people with chest pain, strokes, falls, lots of car accidents on the interstate.
Blair says the new unit has already made a difference in critical care in a few runs. Chief Aponte says with an average response time of 5 minutes for his district, it can sometimes be another 10 minutes before the ambulance arrives.
What we've seen already is that we're making runs, we're getting there, and our paramedics are able to get IVs established, get the person on the monitor, giving them drugs to actually change the outcome a lot sooner than had we had to wait till EMS got here.
Harrods Creek is the only suburban fire district to offer this service. It took an investment and commitment, one that says Chief Aponte is well worth it.
One, it can save our own people, and then two, it provides a much better level of service to our customers. And these are the people who are paying for, paying the bills for this. And so we felt like it was important to be able to provide that extra level of care.
While Louisville Metro's EMS director helped the district develop the program, it was a citizen who did most of the funding. Chief Aponte says once the woman heard about the need, she offered to pay a bill for equipment that totaled over $40,000. Harrods Creek also has a new engine at its Station 1 along Highway 42 in Prospect. This is a custom fire rescue pumper. In addition to holding 600 gallons of water, the engine includes a computer and video camera screen in the cab and remote-controlled command lights and nozzle. The pump, lights, and nozzle can all be operated without even getting out of the truck. Now we pay tribute to a volunteer firefighter who recently died. Cory Adkins was a volunteer with the Camp Taylor Fire Department. He was killed in an auto accident in January. Cory became involved in firefighting when he was 16. Cory did 2 tours of duty for the Marines in Iraq. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and fellow firefighters.
He has empowered me, as I am so sure that as you reflect back on Cory, that he has empowered you as well.
And that's one thing I actually liked about him the most, is that no matter being a Marine, a firefighter, or a friend, he will always be there for you.
I thank you for the gift that you have bestowed upon me. It will not go wasted.
So for a lifetime of service, on behalf of a grateful fire community, we toll the bell.
Cory has touched so many lives here. And that will always be with us, wherever we go, whatever we do, no matter how old we get, Cory's memory will be within us.
When I am called to duty, God, whenever flames may rage, give me strength to save some life, whatever be its age. Help me embrace a little child before it's too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fate. I want to fill my calling and to give the best in me to guard my every neighbor and protect his property. And if according to my fate I am to lose my life, please bless with your protecting hand my mother, my fellow firefighters, my friends in my life.
This is the final call for firefighter Cory Adkins. Firefighter Adkins served the Cape Taylor Fire Department and the community of Jefferson County with courage, dedication, and distinction. He further served his country as a United States Marine. Firefighter Adkins is 10-7. He has gone home. May he rest in peace.
Hello, I'm Colonel Robert White, Chief of Police of the Louisville Metro Police Department. You know our crime tip hotline has proven to be a tremendous resource for both the community and our officers. I'm asking you to continue working with our department and tell us about criminal activity in your area by calling 574-LMPD. Together, we can keep Louisville safe. Call 574-LMPD.
Every day, people just like you answer the call. Ordinary folks,
You'll hit the seat of the fire.
extraordinary dedication.
You won't get the rush just thinking about it. Come on, cross the line.
Need extra spending money? Have an unexpected bill to pay? Volunteer as a poll worker for one day. Help your community and earn $120 cash. That's right, $120 for one day. It's fast, fun, and rewarding.
Hi, I'm Bobby Holsclaw. Come join us on Election Day. Call 574-6100 to volunteer. We would love to have you.
You're watching In the Line of Fire. I'm Reed Yaden. We're at the Louisville Division of Fire for this program. It's the 150th anniversary of the department. Chief Greg Frederick joins me now. And Chief, this department actually started with buckets and volunteers. Tell me about how fires were fought back in the 1800s.
Well, as far as I know from the history that I've read, the department responded with horse-drawn and hand-drawn wooden pumpers that were able to draw water out of cisterns. They also had bucket brigades and volunteers that jumped in and filled up the actual tank on the hand pumpers, and then everybody got together and pumped from side to side that actually put water pressure on the hoses, and that's what they used to put the fires out.
A lot of manual labor and horsepower.
Absolutely.
Now, you're one of the oldest fully paid departments in the country. Who else would be in those ranks?
Well, we're actually the third oldest fully paid, and the first was Cincinnati, and the second after that was Kansas City.
It's kind of interesting, Cincinnati, Kansas City, and then Louisville. Today, no volunteers. You have an all-paid staff, naturally. Tell me about your staff.
Well, we've got 590 employees. The department operates out of 22 fire stations. All the firefighters work a 24-hour shift with 48 hours off. We also have our own Louisville Fire Academy, We have an automotive service facility that works on all of our vehicles and apparatus. We have a communications center that operates within MetroSafe. We also oversee the arson squad countywide operation, and we have a fire prevention bureau and administration at fire headquarters.
Chief, I know some of the firehouses are located in old buildings, but you're also in the midst of making some upgrades.
Yeah, that's correct. Under the modernization plan, we're in the process of replacing 3 firehouses right now. One of them is a 1904 building in Portland. One of them is a 1891 firehouse in the Clifton area, as well as a 1924 firehouse that's on Ashland Avenue in the south end. We're in the construction that's getting ready to begin on the Portland and the Clifton Butchertown station, and we're also in the design process for Ashland Avenue.
Chief, I want to thank you for hosting us for this program. Also at this location is a historical archive for the city. Now, Louisville is the 3rd oldest fully paid department in the country, as you heard. It started as a volunteer department, but it became a fully paid department on June 1st, 1858. As the department prepares to celebrate its 150th anniversary, it has dozens of historical artifacts to share with you.
As Major Mark Abner unlocks this case, he opens a piece of Louisville's history.
Presented to Chief J. Paul, Chief of the Louisville Fire Department, December 25th, 1862.
That's right, 1862. This learning center for the Louisville Fire Department contains photos, uniforms, helmets, and documents from the department's infancy to today.
The item behind us is a hose cart. It was assigned to Engine 7. It was purchased in 1840. Was restored by our in-house apparatus maintenance facility, and it actually has still loaded on it the original leather copper riveted hose. And this was actually not a horse-drawn cart, but it was a hand-pulled cart.
12 years ago, staff at the department began pulling the collection together in one place. Firefighters realized they had dozens of items that needed to be shared with the public.
One thing that makes this museum a little different than some other fire museums is the only items that are housed here, as far as photographs or apparatus or anything else, is strictly limited only to Louisville Division of Fire items. We have an 1892 Hale water tower that there was only 12 built in 1892, and what we have here was assigned to Louisville Fire Department, was purchased as our water tower in the 1892. We still have that apparatus, and it's only one of three that's known to exist.
The Louisville Fire Department began just as Louisville was becoming the 10th largest city in the U.S. at the time. Some of those old downtown buildings presented a challenge in 1858 and still today.
If you look at downtown Louisville today, and you go down Main Street and Market Street in the old downtown district with all the cast iron front buildings and pre-Civil War buildings, they're 5- and 6-story buildings, which offers a large challenge to today's firefighters with today's equipment. It's the same building that it was in 1860, but they were doing it with this type of equipment. I don't see how they did it.
How firefighters did it 150 years ago is an amazing feat when you look at how the department has advanced. The center pays tribute to the men who created the life-saving service and to the city which bears its name.
It's not just fire department history. It's a lot of the history here is about, it deals with the early forming of our town, where our town was in 1858 and prior.
Now, you need to make an appointment to tour the Learning Center. It's open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can call 574-3731 to schedule a visit. Chief, I know you're really proud of this history center that we're in.
Yeah, our department has a great history, and we're all very proud of the traditions in the department. And this is a way for us to capture the artifacts and the photos and the documents of our history and actually be able to display it.
Well, you've certainly done a good job. Now we're in an area that a lot of people don't see We have the firebox.
Right.
Let's go through what happens when if somebody turns in an alarm in a firebox.
Well, back in the 1890s, this was the only way people had to signal that there was a fire. And you saw these red boxes on every street corner, or most every street corner. And the boxes were actually designed, they were wound up with a spring, and when they pulled the box, it would actually send a signal to the fire tower to let them know where the fire was located. In this case, it was box 549. So when you pull box 549, it'll ring into the communications center. Once they determined that it was box 549, they would program it into this device, which is wound up, spring wound as well, and they would send out a signal from this that would be received in the firehouse. And this area was what was called the Joker stand, where someone stood watching the firehouse at all times.
24 hours a day.
24 hours a day, and they rotated their shifts on watch. When the run would come in, box 549, there would be holes punched in this tape called the Joker tape. They would look at that and reference it to a box card that would say, and in this case 549 was at Hancock and Oak, and they would recognize that they were listed on that run. They would notify the units, and I'll demonstrate that. They would send it out from the fire alarm office.
4, now we're going to get 9. So the operator would count the holes.
Right.
Pull a run card, then dispatch.
Right. Then he would activate the units that were in the firehouse. In those days it was by a bell or whatever the case may be, and then they would respond to the run.
Things have changed a whole lot since this very rudimentary system was actually in service. Till when?
Actually, the fire boxes were changed over to radio controlled boxes in the 70s or 80s that actually transmitted on a radio frequency. And then later on, we actually removed them about 5 years ago because of the proliferation of cell phones and other means of communication. So,
Chief, thank you so much.
No problem. Welcome to our center. I'm glad you were able to spend some time with us.
Now, the department is celebrating its anniversary on May 30th, 31, and June 1st. You can take part by taking a walking and driving tour. Now, the tours will end right here at the History Center. Also on June 1st, there will be a reunion among firefighters. It's open to the public. It'll be held at Bowman Field at Louisville Executive Aviation. Still to come on In the Line of Fire, volunteers are still a huge part of the suburban fire districts. Learn how this volunteer balances his paid job with his fire duties.
Louisville Metro Parks and Recreation. There's no limit to what you can do. Visit your local community center to find programs for you and your family. Check out Metro Parks and Recreation at louisvilleky.gov to find the community center that best suits your needs. Louisville Metro Parks and Recreation. Your city, your parks.
Saving lives.
Fire protection. I make a difference.
Firefighters do make a difference, answering the call at any hour of any day. The Jefferson County Fire Service is men and women who vow to serve and protect.
I volunteer to save lives.
Night or day, I answer the call.
Firefighting is a career, but for most, it's a volunteer effort. The Jefferson County Fire Service depends on its volunteers to help answer the call.
I am a Jefferson County firefighter.
I am a Jefferson County firefighter.
I am a Jefferson County firefighter.
Volunteer today. Call 574-5646 or visit jeffcofire.com.
Hi, I'm Mayor Jerry Abramson.
And I'm Kirby Adams.
With so many new cyclists on our city streets, everyone needs to share the road.
I've been hit twice by drivers while riding my bicycle. Treat a cyclist like any other vehicle on the road.
When you drive behind a bicycle, slow down. Wait until it's safe to pass on the left. Just like you would a car, make sure to leave 3 feet between your car and the cyclist.
And cyclists, you should move over if it's safe to let cars pass.
Together, we can keep our streets and roads safe.
For all of us.
You're watching In the Line of Fire. I'm Reed Yaden. We're here at one of the Louisville Division of Fire stations for this program. The city's fire department has had a paid staff since 1858. Not so for the suburban districts. In fact, it wasn't until the past 20 years that many became more than a volunteer department. But even with the salaries, volunteers are still a crucial part of the suburban districts. Right now, meet a volunteer from the St Matthews department. Mike Beneke walks among spools of aluminum wire in the warehouse of his family-owned business. His job at Beneke Wire can be somewhat predictable, but the call for his volunteer services is anything but predictable. Sitting on top of the file cabinets are his firefighter helmets.
I keep my work here at the company separate from that of the fire department. It's almost a sense of relief when I get to respond to a call because it is separate, and my name is no longer associated with a business as it is here at the family-owned and operated business. So it's almost just a relief to go off and do something like that.
Just like the aluminum business has evolved, Beneke has seen tremendous change in the fire service.
The district's grown, technology's improved itself, the apparatus has improved as well. The tools that we have accessible to us today far exceed what we had 20 years ago.
Beneke is quick to point out that any type of volunteering takes commitment. Being a firefighter requires hundreds of hours every year. Beneke believes it's time well spent.
I feel that I never served in the military, that this is an obligation that I can serve my community, and it has given so much to me. Why can't I do something in return for it?
If you'd like to learn more about becoming a volunteer firefighter, contact the Jefferson County Fire Service at 574-5646 or jeffcofire.com. Or better still, stop by the fire district in your community. Thanks to the Louisville Division of Fire for hosting this edition of In the Line of Fire. Now, in the coming weeks, look for more information about joining the department as it celebrates its 150th anniversary. Now, whether the city or a suburban district, fire departments are a lifeline for our community. Thanks to all of the men and women who work to keep us safe. And also for everyone who works to put this program together, thank you for watching In the Line of Fire. I'm Reed Yates.